How's it going, everybody? Gabe Moen here at G Standard Gym in Tacoma, Washington, Pacific Northwest bodybuilding mecca. Today we're going to take off with some arms, and I hope you guys follow along. I'm going to try to give you as many tips as possible and tell you the reasons why and behind what I'm doing, my philosophies. So if you guys don't mind, follow along. Let's get started. I think today I'm going to start off with an easy curl bar. And I do these a little different than some people. I go off the back side of the bench as opposed to the preacher side. You guys are going to be asking me why off the back side. Well, off the back side, I'm letting gravity plus the weight against me create the resistance versus using this as a fulcrum. I don't like using a fulcrum in this instance. I've seen guys blow their biceps off the other side, probably just using too heavy a weight. But this angle here seems like you're getting this overextension if you go too far down. And I've seen it happen twice where the bicep will just pop and roll off. So instead of putting this hyperextensive chance of blowing your bicep off, I literally come around to the other side like we showed earlier, so that the arm's at a complete hang straight down and you're not at any risk on a fulcrum of blowing the bicep out. In fact, you're gonna find that on the back side here, it's gonna be 100 times more difficult than on the other side, because the fulcrum actually helps you and it gets easier as you come up towards the top of the contraction. So hanging off the back side here, you're probably gonna need to use less weight, which, you know, we're not ego lifters in here anyways, we're bodybuilders. So it's all about the pump and what gets maximum breakdown and maximum pump in every exercise. Sometimes I will train all biceps first and then come back and do triceps afterwards. Today, I'm gonna kind of go back and forth and do a little tricep bicep action back and forth, opposing muscle groups. I use this notched bar and a couple of nylon straps, as you can see here. The reason for the nylon straps is that I have ultimate manipulation here, so I can move and twist my wrists, and it'll take form to whatever I want it to. And then the notched out bar here actually helps me line up my joints properly. I like to keep everything in line because let's keep in mind our joints are levers. You know, everything's a lever. I like to flatten my palms to the floor, basically just recreating the act of posing my tricep on stage. All right, so we've done one bicep exercise, and that was the reverse preacher. And now I'm gonna go over, probably select a machine, and then maybe finish with some hammers. And then I'll isolate the triceps. And I'm sure if you guys are watching my mutant videos, you've seen this one before, but let's go get started on our next bicep exercise on the machine. This hammer strength plate loaded preacher curl is constantly trying to keep tension on the bicep and keep it working, pumping blood into the bicep. Significantly heavier this time. Gotta figure out where I'm at. That was a little drop set. I'm gonna leave that at that. We'll move on to some single isolation for the tricep. Okay guys, so for this one, this is one of my favorites. This is a single arm tricep extension isolation that I'm gonna basically take down to my nose and then back up. It doesn't take a lot of weight to do these. So the good news is that strength is good and it's moving up. Won't be long and I'll be back to where I was before I even took a break. So rest periods, if you guys are wondering, for me, I try to keep it around 60 seconds, sometimes 90. Some magic's starting to happen. As you guys can see, I'm starting to get a bit of a pump. Or I hope it's translating on camera. So next, I think what we'll do is we'll move into hammer curls. I like to do the cross body hammer curls with dumbbells. I'll show you guys what that looks like here in a moment. You want to throw enough angle on it. You know, I'm not squared up. You got a little angle on it so that you can make it past your body and get a good squeeze. The damage happens on the way down, guys, remember that. So control it. If you're just letting it drop, you're doing yourself a complete disservice and you're not breaking down the muscle tissue properly. So now when you contract it on a what's called a concentric movement, when you contract it on the way up, you're delivering blood and nutrients, and that's where we get the pump. So and get a good squeeze. That's hammer curls. So now my favorite isolation, other than the one that we just did on the bench, I'm going to take you guys over to the Arsenal 8 stack, and we're going to get into some single isolation tricep extensions. I'm going to show you how to do that. It's basically like a hammer where you come across the body with a full extension to the bottom, flat palm towards the floor. And let's take you over there right now and we'll show you what that looks like. Okay guys, so here we are at another one of my favorite stations. We're going to do a single arm tricep extension. And this one's really, really unique. I grab right at the top of the ball here, right where the wire meets the catch. This right here is very important. My hand placement, my thumb placement, I'm gonna wrap around the wire as far as I can. Then my index finger right here is gonna cover the top of it, kind of like a hook, okay? What that does is that gives me the ability to basically manipulate however I want. Now, I'm gonna give it a little flavor by turning sideways across the body. Now when I pull towards the floor, I'm going to make sure that when I end up in the bottom, my palm is facing flat and perpendicular to the floor. And what the reason for that is, as you can see back here, I'm getting a full extension, full contraction on the back of the tricep, or as you guys might know, the horseshoe nickname. So from here and back up to parallel, slow and controlled, and squeeze every time. Palm the floor. So guys, with that being said, that's basically a bicep and tricep combination day. I'm going to end with some abs. All right guys, next on the list here, we're just gonna do some leg raises for abs. These are a staple. I don't typically train abs all that often in the off season, but I have changed that philosophy now. So I am going to try to keep alternating them between calves and abs every other day. So typically in 1 week I'll get 2 sessions in, next week I'll get 3. It just alternates. And all I'm gonna do is bring my legs straight out in front of me and lower them back down nice and slow so that there's no swinging. So, you know, just pay attention to that so you're not cheating yourself, and try to keep the movement and the swinging to a minimal. And I'll show you how that goes. Hopefully I can do these, man. I haven't done them in a while. Now what I'll do is I'll typically superset this with a rope crunch. All right, you guys see that? Flexolate, just in case you're wondering what I'm using here. There's a little nylon straps, a little bit of padding in here. Hey, Flexolate, if you're listening, if you're watching, you know, I'm available. These are gonna go around the wrist. This eliminates me from having to hold on and use my grip the whole time, and I can focus more on my abdomen. So I'm gonna hook these in my carabiner. Move the weight down to 200 because I'm a fatty. And need more weight to counterbalance me, so I'm gonna pull this back on my pad here. And it's just a very small truncated movement. I'm really just gonna contract my abdomen, nothing more, round the back a little bit, and pull my pelvis in at the same time. That's it. About a 12-inch range of motion, if that. There we go. So 2 examples right there for you guys, our hanging leg raises and our rope crunches. And really, I'll probably do anywhere from 3 to 4 sets on any given day. I'm training abs. And depending upon how good they're feeling, if they're sore or not sore. If they're sore, probably want to back off one more day, give them a little bit more rest before you train them again. You don't want them to be like in pain before you put them in pain. So just monitor yourself and pay attention to listen to your body on that. But that's abs. And I appreciate you guys joining me tonight. We'll see you back here at G Standard Gym in Tacoma, Washington for, what are we doing tonight? We're doing shoulders and traps. So come join us. See you guys in a little bit. Thank you.